Hello, welcome back to Tripod Talk, the series, well, the podcast series.
Oh god.
Shall I say that again?
Yeah.
No, shall I keep this in now, or just keep going?
Just start again.
Hello and welcome back to Tripod Talk, the podcast where we talk about films, mainly films, all about films. My name's Matt Lidster, I am not your host. To my right, as always, is...
Adil Anwar, also not the host.
And to our left, as always, in this weird triangle situation, we have our host, Miss Sophie Ellis.
We need to get rid of that.
Nope.
I hate that. Right, so this week we are talking about Western films.
Woo!
Who suggested Western?
Me.
Take responsibility.
Because
Apologise.
I thought it would be a good thing to talk about, but 2 minutes after the podcast ended, we all realised we don't really know a lot about Westerns.
Yep.
You know a lot more than we do, I think.
I have a couple of papers I could go through, which I'm sure everyone would want to listen to.
Okay.
But, yeah. No.
So what film did you suggest last
Oh,
week?
I suggested that we should watch 310 to Yuma because I'd never seen it before.
The remake.
So it's, the remake. And it was always on my watch list of stuff to watch because obviously it's on a list of stuff to watch.
Is this a stroke? Should we call an ambulance?
So it wasn't really a recommendation. It was just something for me to watch and for you guys to also watch because it was on.
Right.
So, what are you doing
Right,
now?
Matt, stop it. Dill, what did you think of the film?
I'd already seen it before quite a while ago and I remembered I really enjoyed it, which is kind of why I planted the idea in Matt's head to watch it.
Okay.
But I just remember the cast. Well, the cast in it is insane. It's everybody's putting in kind of great work. It's a lot of big names out there, and they also do a really good job of putting like Fondas and Ben Foster's in it as well. Like people you wouldn't necessarily think of, kind of character actors.
Alan Tudyk as well.
Alan Tudyk's always great. Just people who do really good kind of behind the scenes work. And then I also kind of just liked, it's a bit of an old school story, isn't it? Like, it doesn't feed you everything the way films sometimes do nowadays, and it doesn't set up the twist from miles off or make a massive deal about them. They're just part of the story.
Yeah.
There's a risk with remakes that they want to make everything kind of for the new generation and all like 8-second attention span stuff. But I'm glad that even though they were kind of remaking it now, and I suppose it's still like 10 years old, so it'd probably be totally different if they made it now, but they did let it keep some of the same kind of pace and spend the time on the characters and stuff like that, like original Westerns did.
I'm always surprised at how much remakes are really actually just kind of shot for shot stuff.
Yeah.
Like literally just remade with different people.
Yeah, like whoever's the big box office person now.
And then it's like, I can't remember what that film was. Was it Psycho?
With Psycho, they did. Gus Van Sant did a literal shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
But I think that's different. That's like him just being obsessed with that film.
Yeah.
And a really stupid business decision, but kind of somebody quite artsy getting it built up themselves. But no, yeah, did you enjoy the film then?
I did enjoy the film. The only thing that I didn't like was I thought it was great all the way through. It had really decent character moments. You always kind of felt for each character as they kind of, spoiler alert, ended their journey. But when it got to the end, I felt like the characters kind of switched their motives a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, he's supposed to be the biggest, baddest guy who has no remorse whatsoever. And then just because something's been told about the main character, he's like, you know what, I'm going to help you get me to the prison cell. And it's just like,
Yeah.
really?
It's a big jump, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose it's a little, like, a bit much of a leap for nowadays, but I just thought that was kind of deliberately part of the point they were making, that, like, even these seemingly really bad guys, they're still kind of normal human beings and they've got weaknesses and things that they're emotional and sentimental about and stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that side of it, because it does get boring when there's a villain who's just straight out mental and it's like, well, there's almost no stakes to it because he's just off his head.
Yeah.
But if they've got like a normal family life, but this is just something they do because of something that happened in their childhood or stuff like that, I think that's just the way to a much more complex character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it was a big leap that suddenly he was totally on his side all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well, like, they do go to the effort of making a reason, you know, like that he can escape from the prison easily. Well, he's escaped twice before.
I know, which...
And then,
at
did you
that
notice at
point-
the end he calls his horse as well?
Yeah.
I really like that detail, see? Because
Really?
he realised that like he could help this guy for effectively nothing. Like, what did it cost him helping the guy? Even though he ended up whatever. Like, it just cost him an extra 20 minutes before he was free. So I can see why he helped him in that situation.
Yeah.
But I get why it's hard to watch. It's like hard to believe as you're going along.
At that point, yeah. Everything else leading up to before it was great, and then I think it just faltered at that point.
Yeah, I think by that point, so many people are just so into the like acting and the character work that
Yeah, Christian Bale was great. In
they
this,
can pull you past it.
as well as
Ben Foster was incredible as well,
and
and Russell Crowe's always good.
Logan Lerman as well. We were trying to figure out who it was.
He's in
halfway through the
Fury, and
film.
he's really good as well. He seems to be as a guy coming up. He seems to be quite big, especially because there isn't many young American actors seemingly coming up now. It seems like there's a lot of English people kind of taking over.
Yeah.
Like John Boyega's in Detroit, which is meant to be amazing.
Oh yeah.
I've had a friend who's really into films tell me that it's one of the best films of the year.
Yeah,
But
you saw
again-
that on the bus. Yeah.
Have you
Not
seen
the
it?
film, just the ad.
Yeah, I saw the ad for it. I do want to watch it.
It was one of those. The trailer's a bit like, oh, it could go either way, so it's hard to tell. Like all trailers are kind of the same thing now.
Yeah.
I think the film's okay. I think it's a good kind of. If you had like a kid now and you were trying to get them into westerns, rather than going straight to like one of the classics, if you started with that film, then it'd be like a kind of gateway drug.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I guess.
Because it's got enough like modern type action and acting and like pacing's a bit more close to a film nowadays.
Yeah, plus it looks more like the kind of films that we watch now.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
it's got like newer cinematography. Not that it was old cinematography, but old films were shot in certain ways.
But
Yeah.
they're already capable of doing certain things.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So when you look at something, say for example, Stagecoach now, which I'm going very long time ago here, but that is such a dated film compared to stuff that we watch now. So yeah, maybe you're right. It's like it would be a decent gateway. It's like Cowboys and Aliens, although
Yeah, well, I think
maybe
that's
not
a
the
bit
Aliens
more of
bit.
a film as well.
Maybe that's if you're trying to get your kids more into it. They're just gonna want to watch,
Yeah.
people getting killed. Not that kids want to watch people getting killed, but
They do.
Probably do, yeah.
Probably.
Well, they'd rather do it like console, not real life.
What do you think of the film stuff?
Well,
Was it worth staying conscious for?
for the hour that I watched, yes. The only reason that I didn't like it was because I couldn't stand the kid.
Oh,
William.
really?
Can't stand him.
Do you
His
think-
face annoyed me. His character
Oh,
annoyed
so
me.
it's just a personal thing. You just didn't like the look of that human being.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
it was really like whingy and
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's sometimes you just take a genuine dislike to someone and you can't really place it.
yeah, and that completely threw it off. Like I really liked Russell Crowe in it, and there was a scene where everyone was asleep, and they got woken up by him stabbing that guy in the neck repeatedly.
Oh yeah, that got me off guard. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like stuff that sort of you don't expect it to be that suddenly like brutal because it wasn't beforehand.
I do think the pacing's really good. Like they build a lot of tension, but then they also just throw in random things to catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Like it's real intense the way that it's kind of let stuff happen.
Yeah.
Even with it being a slow film.
Its handling of Native Americans was less than I thought it would be.
I suppose, yeah. I guess they wanted to kind of avoid the issue more than anything, so just stay close to the original. Because if you stay close to the original, then you're just doing a remake and you're not really going to get any issues, I imagine, from like a PR point of view. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, just because the history of westerns kind of treating Native Americans as well.
Or just Americans.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's quite. What's the word?
I
Disgusting.
don't know.
Well, yeah, I guess it is to a sense, especially some of the broken language that they use. But it's probably maybe it's not a story for another time.
Okay.
This
Definitely
is
not
the
a story
This
for
is
another
the time. This is the time. But I'm not going to go into all my
Yeah.
educational things. So what are we talking about?
In
Yeah,
general,
What are you thinking
I
next?
was thinking maybe we go to the draft because seeing so we don't really know that much about westerns. Why not?
Show that off.
Yeah, why not have a bit of a draft where you guys have to use your western characters that you probably don't know that much about?
Why is the door open? Arr! Draft.
Okay, I didn't get that either.
I
Thanks
know.
for explaining.
No, so, yeah, I know. Matt, you need to leave this podcast. Okay, so before we start anything, I'm looking forward to it. Matt, what's your buzzer?
Oh no.
Oh.
Think about this. Oh, can we just say our names again?
No.
We don't need a buzzer for this round.
Oh, no, you don't.
We don't.
Well,
do
we can just set
Damn
them up in
it.
advance, I guess.
I was
wasn't gonna
looking
do the
too
buzzer
much
either.
forward to the buzzer.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, please.
No. So what have we got for the draft?
Fine.
Maybe I'll do the buzzer later. Might not even be that one.
Cool. Oh yeah, we need rock paper scissors for who goes first on the draft anyway.
Okay. Wait. Let's draw.
Draw what? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
So rock
Draw
paper.
what?
this is.
Yeah. Okay. So for people listening on the podcast right
You
now.
can't blame me
Wait. What?
for thinking you went that
Draw
kind of draw
what?
first.
No, because this is westerns. We're gonna draw for the rock paper scissors. So we're gonna put our hands behind our backs.
Okay, apparently.
And then
Sorry,
Soph, you're gonna have to say rock paper scissors, and then we're both gonna draw out our weapon of choice.
All right, let
I'm
me.
very sorry for
It's
people. Wait, this is very intense right now here in the studio.
Is it?
Rock, paper, scissors. It wasn't at the same time.
It wasn't really now.
No.
We both got scissors.
It goes rock, paper, scissors, go.
Down to-
Oh, right,
That's fine,
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh,
Oh, and Dill wins.
I'm dead.
Does that,
Smashing
is that
paper
right? I'll go
over
first
rock.
because we've only got like 4 films between us. All right,
Get
he's
him
dead.
on,
Matt's
Cam.
down.
Okay,
Traumatic
so
dynasty.
Lying.
Okay, I'm being stared at, and then I will get killed for real.
It's all right. Deal with it after the podcast when I'm not here.
please.
That's your buzzer now. You've done it.
I still prefer the other one.
Yeah, I know you do. We don't have time.
Okay, you're about to commit the crime of the century and somebody found out beforehand and they need to be killed off. You need someone to help catch them. You need someone to kill them, someone to bury them and get rid of the evidence, and a getaway. Who do you pick?
Oh, so all 4.
4 people.
Oh,
Someone
Jesus.
to catch them, someone to kill them, someone to get rid of the evidence and bury them. Or burn them, in whatever way. And a getaway.
All right. So I'm going to say to catch them, I'm going to get Wyatt Earp from Tombstone
Okay.
because Wyatt Earp was a policeman, right? Or like a sheriff.
Mhm.
Am I getting the right thing? Yeah. So obviously, like, he's a sheriff and he's also a sheriff in the right context.
He is now.
Yeah.
Cowboy, good with a gun, all that all that good stuff. His reputation has gone for centuries. So clearly the guy was good at his job.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have him.
Okay.
I'm gonna say for the killing, I'm gonna take Christoph Waltz from Django Unchained.
Mm.
Unchained, not unchanged. He never changes his
That's
outfit.
the porno version.
Oh no.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I don't. Anyway. Oh, no, don't read that. Oh, no. He's now moving on from this.
No.
All
Not with
right.
him.
Christoph Waltz because I prefer him to Jamie Foxx because I just think he's funnier and he's a better character and he's more experienced and he's cooler and he gets the way out of it. What else do we need? We need someone to get rid of the body.
Yes.
I'm going to get Rooster Cogburn from True Grit just because he's kind of like one of those guys he's very like mysterious, so you don't know the kind of skills he's got, but he's been around a long time.
Okay.
He's killed a ton of people. You got to imagine he knows how to deal with a situation like this.
Yeah.
Like he's all about watching his own back ahead of anyone else, so he will have kind of gained those skills. And what's the last thing? Getaway.
Yes.
Get
Keep
away.
asking and answering yourself.
I know.
I don't need to be here.
You didn't need to say that. Getaway. I'm gonna get. Oh fuck westerns. I'm gonna get Brad Pitt just from my favorite titled film ever, which is The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which you might not have heard of.
No.
It's Casey Affleck's in it, and he's really good. But basically, do you know who Jesse James was? The American Jesse James. He was like a kind of famous criminal dude back in those times, like outlaw, really like the most well-known outlaw that there is.
Right.
And it's about Casey Affleck killing him. But basically, being an outlaw, he has a lot of hidey holes. He knows how to get out of that kind of dangerous situation quickly.
Yeah.
So I'd use him to get my ass out of there because obviously, like him being wanted as well, his life's just on the line as mine is.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So that's my team.
That's a good lineup. I love the fact that you guys can really struggle, but come up with the best
This
reasons
is
on
the
the
thing.
spot.
Like I've got 8 characters, so I was just like, I've got to make the reasons fit whatever the story
Yeah.
is.
Now, I just got a quick question before I carry on. Your Rooster Cogburn.
It's the Jeff Bridges one. Yeah, you can
Has he
keep your
messed
John
up
Wayne.
yours?
No, I know he's got loads of John Waynes, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
So he wanted to keep the John Wayne one. I'll take Jeff Bridges over John Wayne, the racist. I knew I'd bring that up. Marion.
Oh, you leave John Wayne alone. I'm sorry, I have to do it. Shout out to Cal. I know he's not listening, but we shared a lot of times about John Wayne. Now, okay, so catch.
It's like your Oscar speech, mate.
Oh no, I've lost it. It's okay, don't worry. Okay, so to catch him, to catch the killer.
All right.
No,
Well,
it's
this-
the killer.
The guy
No, wait.
who's turned against us.
No.
The
Do you know
guy who's
what?
found
I
out.
actually didn't listen. I don't know either.
This is the final podcast where I'll be involved.
Right, okay, so the guy to catch the guy is Ethan Edwards, who is John Wayne's character from The Searchers, now the original OG Western film by John Ford. It is the classic film. But it has the most American, the most badass. I forgot the name of the guys, what they're called. They're like the in-betweeners. They're on the frontiers, but they can be accepted by society. But basically, it's John Wayne going out. He's the dude, alright? He can catch people, he goes across country, he can protect people, and he can easily capture people. He is known for it, to transport them from one place to another. He is the guy. So for my guy, I'm going to choose Harmonica, who is played by Charles Bronson in Once Upon a Time in the West.
Okay.
Because he is an experienced killer. He has the best creases on a face I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And he has the most...
People don't look like that anymore, do they?
No, and he has the most piercing blue eyes. He could kill people with his eyes. I'm just saying. Now, to bury and to get rid of the body, I'm going to choose Senator Stoddard, which is James Stewart's character from The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Now, even though he was more John Wayne's right-hand man in that film, he always had his back. He always knew exactly where right and wrong was, and in this situation, he knows exactly where to put the body within the confines of the area that they're in. So, obviously, we can get rid of that. Plus, he was quite a high-up man in the ranks of the village as well, so everyone's going to be cool with that. And the getaway guy, we're going to have to use Tonto. From the Lone Ranger. I'm going to choose Johnny Depp's character.
He's got a horse.
Even though I think he's worse than the actual original 1956 version. But
Oh, really? The guy who played him in that?
yeah,
Like, I thought they
mainly just because I think the film, like I don't want to get into it too much, but basically I think the newer version is more racist than the old version.
Oh,
But
really?
within this one, just because Johnny Depp's powers, or Tonto's powers, seem to be kind of up to the ante a little bit as well compared to what they were, especially within the lore of that story anyway, that he's going to be a great guy to use as a getaway.
I think as a tactic as well, it's a bit... I've noticed that it's thing doing with like... So because they were kind of subjugated before, you give them these mythical superpowers, and that's kind of a way of making up for the way that they were treated before. And I don't even think that's necessary. Like, just treat them as normal people.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be able to like do all that weird tracking and...
Also, just the broken English in that is barbaric, considering it was only like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, apart from that, he's a great character. He's going to help me get away.
I know, you always do this. You always put your characters down.
He tricks me.
I kind of do.
It's a tactic he uses.
Because I realise me saying directly that his characters aren't good doesn't work. It just seems confrontational. So if I make you say it...
It's like in Civil War when Daniel Bruhl's character gets them to fight within.
Yeah.
Except I fight with myself.
Okay.
So was it kind of the broken English particularly about the Johnny Depp character that made you think it was more racist, or is it just
mainly more because
the way they treated?
Like, to do with the whole like whitewashing thing. I know it wasn't as prevalent back then because they just got anyone to kind of fill roles and stuff. But even back then, they got someone who was Native American to play that role for a Native American, and then obviously they just go with a big bucks character now who claims he has heritage, but I don't believe is actually valid upon that point anyway. So it's kind of a step backwards in a direct comparison to a film that was like much older than it.
I remember like almost in direct opposition to that, Suicide Squad like hired a genuine Native American person for their film, and everyone was like really excited about it, like, oh, that's cool. And apparently he's like a good character as well. But then like, tell me, have you seen Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Can you remember the Native American guy?
No.
Yeah, see, they just didn't give him anything in it. He's just kind of in the background, and he dies at some point.
Bloody hell. Was he the...
Am I thinking of the right film?
No.
Am I thinking of the right film?
That was Meatloaf was the guy who kind of died.
I'm sure there was a Native American who they put in. It might be another one of those kind of shitty mainstream films, but one of those I'm thinking about. They put a Native American in. I'm sure it's Suicide Squad actually. I just can't remember who.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, he was one of the first people to die when they go on the mission. You just see him in the
okay.
background like a bow and arrow, and then you just see him like spin away as he gets shot.
Oh. Oh shit.
Yeah, but yeah, it is interesting. Like I don't know if you heard about the Ed Skrein, the guy from Deadpool. No idea how to say his surname. He got a part in the new Hellboy film, and he has gone on to reject it because he found out afterwards that it was played by an Asian American character in the original.
Oh, really?
So he's now said no to the part, like publicly, and said he wants it to go to somebody who's actually kind of got the real heritage.
I do quite like.
Because he did say like he's from like a mixed family himself, and he wants people to be able to represent their own kind
That's
of.
how it should be.
Yeah.
Really.
That's where like the only reason I sometimes digress on that was I remember when Get Out came out, Samuel L. Jackson made a big point about the main guy being English and not understanding
yeah.
all the kind of, because like Get Out's kind of a metaphor for the way black people are treated in America.
Yeah.
He was like, why couldn't they get an American guy to do it? So I was like, maybe he's right there, but then because it's kind of the same thing, if you know what I mean, but
Yeah.
also not like but nationally.
That's a really interesting point as well.
But I don't have a problem with it, I don't think, because that guy just won the part because he was the best actor. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be something personal to him. Like when, both people who played Martin Luther King are English. Idris Elba and the other guy.
The other guy.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. David Oyelowo. Okay, whatever.
Oh, I know what you mean.
David Oyelowo or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Just say it really quick.
David Oyelowo. Yeah, nailed it. Got it right.
Got it right. I know we went a bit off topic there, but who do you think had the best
did.
team?
Well, I pretty much knew none of your characters anyway. So
just
it's
about
going
the
off how you described them.
I think Matt's the only person who knew all the characters. Like, I didn't know any of his. He could have crushed me there, but I'd have no idea.
Yeah.
It's mainly just because I've seen older westerns, so yeah.
It is hard to tell though.
Not out of choice, may I hasten to add.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you say then, like, if you could be objective as possible, who would you think was better from your list and my list? Seeing as you're the person who's seen them both. And be honest about it.
Wait, just
I
go through
mean-
your characters again, please.
For each thing.
To be honest though, it's more down to your choice because we've not really
That's what I'm
given
thinking.
the people at home an opportunity to vote, have we?
Because
someone forgot to
Put
keep
the
on
button
putting
up.
the button didn't
the
matter.
voting button thing in, yeah. Well, sorry guys.
You got permission to comment Matt's a dickhead.
You can comment all you want.
Just as a little jump into the future of the podcast, this quiz I'm going to wish you the best of luck because I don't think you're going to get any of them.
Okay.
So this is
Outstanding.
probably going to
Catastrophe.
go downhill from
Are
here.
we doing it now? Because I
Yeah.
thought we were talking about the draft.
We are. I'm just throwing it through there because
Okay.
I don't know whether you still want to do it.
Oh, you want me to actually see?
Yeah.
Alright, fine.
It was just
Alright.
while he was finding them.
I had Rooster Cogburn from True Grit to
Oh yeah.
do something.
Minus points because you didn't use the John Wayne version. But it's alright.
Positive points. Well, okay. Christoph Waltz to kill, Wyatt Earp to catch, and Brad Pitt, Jesse James to be the getaway guy.
Probably based on the manpower and the modern characters that you've got, which would probably outgun anyone in the old films. I'd probably give you the points.
But we'll
Bonus
let
point.
people vote. Yeah.
I'll give you a bonus point if you can repeat back to me the draft question.
What? No, I can't. it's the saving
I'm gonna go on a
person.
loss. I mean, we're gonna kill someone and get away because they backstabbed us.
Is that why you got? No, see.
Because they found out about what we were gonna do, so we gotta get rid of them. And then we went on to do the thing anyway. So
Is that how it happened?
That's exactly
Could be
what
what
happened.
You'll notice by the little glisten in his eye that he'll latch onto one little bit of it and create a story and convince himself that's right. You're
Yeah.
wrong. You didn't even try.
Oh,
Screw
yeah.
you both.
I-
I'm not even going to write a draft next week.
No, but we
Do
got it overall. We just missed the little details in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
We were trying. We each had like 6 characters. We were stressed.
So we agree 4 characters.
No, I mean like
Oh, right.
6 in total.
So we agree that Dill won that, even though I don't think any of you
Yeah.
should have won.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. You're happy with that.
That neither of us should have really won. But yeah, go on. We'll do this quiz that we're gonna.
Yeah, we'll get the quiz out of the way because
Do we even
these
need to know
are
our
multiple
buzzers?
choice. We'll sort that in a second.
We're never gonna need to use them.
This isn't a multiple choice, hence why it's even worse. I'm not sure if any of you have seen any of these ones. If not, then we can cut it out.
We'll go quickly.
Okay?
Wait, I've got a
Alright.
name for this.
The impossible quiz.
No, the showdown shootout.
Alright.
I'm so glad this Western is out of the way because I can't
Yeah, I
hear
know.
that one more
At
time.
least we don't have to do this again.
We should just forget we did
Right,
this
let's
one.
quickly do the quiz.
Yeah.
We can burn through it.
Okay. The magnificent. Oh no, we'll do the buzzer.
Did you just tell us the answer?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Guys,
Okay.
we're a mess.
Right, buzzers just say. Are we
Buzzer.
saying our own name?
Okay.
Alright, you can do something if you want. I'll just say my own name. Like I say
Okay,
it.
Matt.
Adele.
There we go.
Alright.
Right, you want to hear that again?
The magnificent.
Magnificent.
Alright, sorry.
The magnificent.
Oh,
Oh no.
God.
Just quickly, if you want to play at home, you can pause after she says the questions if you want to answer them first.
But you won't know anyway, because no one will.
Because
No one will.
No one watches Westerns.
The Magnificent Seven was a remake of which 1950s Japanese film?
Matt!
Look at his fucking hand.
You better
What?
not say the Magnificent Seven in a racist accent.
No. The Seven Samurai?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Boom!
Hey, 1 out of 10.
Yes!
Nice.
Okay.
That's the only one we're getting.
Who was a female star in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Oh.
What a cracking
Adele.
Western. That's the only one I like.
Jane Fonda.
No.
Matt. Helen Davis?
No.
I just made that name.
I know, it was like, I haven't heard of Helen Davis. You just beat my encyclopedic brain. But no, you didn't, you made it up.
It was Catherine Ross.
Alright.
Ah, Kathy. I used to know back in the day.
Nice laugh, Dill. Which 1994 Western starred Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster?
Oh shit, I should know this.
1994?
Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster.
Matt.
Stop putting your hand up.
Yeah, you should probably should.
Pass. I have no idea.
Then why?
I
Dill?
don't know. Nell, I don't know.
This genuinely is
We told
quiz.
you.
Maverick.
Alright.
Oh, I was
no.
on the set of that shit.
Tip of my tongue.
You're not
Damn
going to
it.
get this one, so
Okay.
you probably won't get.
You
Which
picked it.
critically acclaimed 1976 Western starring Clint Eastwood as a man searching for people who murdered his family?
Matt.
Go
Good
on.
and the bad and the ugly.
No.
Dill, Fistful of Dollars.
No. You're just naming Western, aren't you?
Yeah.
The Outlaw Josie Wales.
Oh!
No, me neither.
No, I've
Right,
seen that.
guys.
Not
Oh.
not all of it, just bits, because we never get to see films all the way through. Yeah.
I mean, you could just do it yourself. Sorry, go on.
And Matt's not going to pick a theme for a couple of weeks of this podcast because this is how it goes. Which spoof Western movie features a classic scene where cowboys sit around a campfire eating baked beans and farting?
Matt!
Oh, okay, go on.
Stop putting your hand up.
You
Sorry.
made me do it as well. Did you know this? I went for it as well. I didn't,
I had that.
I didn't even
No,
say it
yes.
did.
It was, oh no, A Million Ways to Die in the West.
No.
No.
Oh.
Was it Blazing Saddles?
Yeah.
Oh.
What is that, 1-all? Oh, no.
One all and we're on question 6 now. Jesus. Okay. From which Western does the song Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head come? Sorry.
We know the song.
Just a little reminder.
I don't know.
It got its
think it was
recognition from the film, from a
Oh,
western.
really?
Mm.
I had no idea.
Guess a western. Come on. what's
Go
the
on.
western?
I know it's not, but Sergio Leone.
No.
Tombstone.
No. Butch Cassidy.
Oh, Jesus.
Sick.
Sorry, lads.
What was John Wayne's last movie?
If you don't get this, I'm walking out.
Oh, no!
You wasted all our time.
Was it Matt?
No.
No. Was it True Grit?
No.
Oh!
I don't fucking know. Look at me.
The Shootist.
The Shootist? Well, yeah, I would have died if I was on a film with a made-up name.
In which 1969 film did Clint Eastwood sing?
Matt?
Because I know he made the soundtrack for Unforgiven. Is he sing?
I don't know if I'm just
Fistful of
saying
Dollars again, Adele.
I mean, I already
No.
said Matt, but...
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'll be wrong anyway. We're gonna get more wrong. It doesn't
I
really
was
matter.
going to say the same thing. I was going to say
Fistful.
Good and Bad and the Ugly.
Oh. No.
That's all Clint Eastwood one each, basically. Alright, cool. It better be an answer to one of them.
What was the answer, sorry?
Paint Your Wagon.
Oh, I don't even have a wagon.
Which hilarious 1974 spoof was West.
I think you've already done a question with Blazing
Yeah.
Saddles. Or is
Who
this a
said it?
different
It's
one?
not Blazing Squad.
Is it not?
Swaddles.
How many
Blazing
westerns-
Swaddles.
Who said it is Blazing Squad?
How many Western spoofs have there been in the 70s?
I know.
Was directed by Mel Brooks.
Adele, Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Sorry, what's Blazing Squaddles?
What?
Why is Blazing Squaddles two answers?
You find questions about westerns.
What's the score? I'm gonna try and get this on
Dill's
track.
The
actually
score, Ennio Morricone.
2-1 today.
Nice.
Final question though.
Oh no, I'm gonna pull it back, otherwise I'm dead.
You're not gonna.
This will be the first one I win. Will be westerns.
What? What 1963 John Wayne Western was reportedly based on William Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew?
Adele, Stagecoach.
No.
Don't even think he was in that.
No, it was in the 30s.
Just wanted to say it so we could finish.
This is a painful podcast.
63.
Nope.
Yeah.
It was.
Worth a bluff.
Oh no.
This is to draw.
I know.
I really want Dill to
The
win the Western
tiebreaker is a
thing.
suicide pact.
True Grit.
No.
No. All right.
McLintock.
Okay, that was
Oh,
hilarious.
no.
You let him sit for that long though, and you had absolutely no idea what it was.
What was the film? We're gonna just go
you're
out.
just
This
gonna
is
move
my
on.
own
Wait, there's
question.
more.
No,
No, this is. I'm making my own question up here.
Okay.
On the subject of Taming of the Shrew, what was the film?
I know, Adele. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Hey!
Hey!
Dill would have won either way.
There we go. Congratulations. Clean
Nice.
house. Dill.
Nice win, Dill, for the first time since this
Okay,
started.
probably doesn't need to be brought up again.
Right, well.
We need a crown.
Do we?
Maybe not.
We could do. With like reel on the front and stuff.
For real. Oh, but it's a movie reel.
That's what I mean, reel on the front.
Hey.
Cool. What's the next thing we're doing?
Made of fur.
You don't know?
Fur reel.
Okay.
I thought we could. Yeah, let's move on from that one sec.
I have something to talk about.
What?
What is it? Stop putting your hand up.
I know, God.
Okay, so just because I used to kind of look at this genre back in the day as well.
That was a great time.
I know.
It's fine.
The Western used to be one of the biggest mass-produced films of its era, like for several decades as well, and then it just kind of started to die out. Why?
I think it's because
Discuss.
yeah, cowboys weren't cool for a while, were they? Like if you think about 50s, like you see kids playing around with cowboy belts and cowboy toys and stuff, but I think they kind of passed their time with technology and stuff like that, getting ahead of itself. Like what's cool about an old guy in a dusty desert when you could have like a guy in space with a laser gun and
You
shit.
just did the
summed
whole
up.
thing of Toy Story.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, no, they've never been cool to it. All I can think about with westerns, I just associate them with like chewing and spitting, and like shooting people unnecessarily and horses getting killed.
See, I think Toy Story was deliberate that they didn't pick like the space as the future and the westerns.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would be. I don't think they'd pick a cowboy now. Like if you think they made Toy Story now, what do you think? I don't think they'd use Woody. Do you? Do you think they'd still use a cowboy? I think they'd use something else, but I don't know what.
Rubik's Cube.
Maybe an alien or something like that. Like an alien toy would be a bigger deal.
What, an alien and then...
But then
I'm just thinking like...
Yeah, Buzz's
space. So I don't think it'd be a cowboy, but I don't know what else it would be. Like maybe like a wizard. It'd probably be a wizard, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
It'd be like a little wizard doll or some shit.
But no one would get bored of wizards like they get bored of cowboys.
But I think they... Well, we already kind of have. What new magical stuff is there coming out that people are excited about?
That's true.
I know that's putting you on the spot because I couldn't answer that.
Yeah, because like magical stuff at its peak was Harry Potter.
Yeah, then like
Because you had other stuff coming out at the same time. Like I know you weren't necessarily into it, but it was the biggest phenomenon in the world.
Yeah,
you preach about Harry Potter more than you like the Little.
There's the collection right there, right next to you. There they are, my books. My childhood, right there.
Of admiration, look at them.
Yeah. But that's the point. Like we don't really see anything about them anymore. So
I think they could be due for like. I do think this kind of thing happens in waves, if you know what I mean. Like they've gone through a quiet patch, but they might become cool again. Like the whole fashion goes in trends and stuff. Everything comes back in.
Yeah,
like cowboys may become cool again. It's like a retro, like just a man with a gun. Like it's almost now cooler to be like handicapped against the bad guys.
Yeah.
And just being a cowboy by yourself is pretty much as.
yeah, that
like,
seems to be coming back with Dark Tower at the moment. I've seen the trailer
But
for that.
that's meant to be an absolute pile of horseshit.
Oh.
Like really terrible.
Oh.
Apparently. Like they thought I think at the point now the kind of Hollywood system's got a bit. We'll get whatever actors people think are cool now. We'll put them together, and then the film will be fine, right? Because we'll make our money off the actors.
Yeah.
And I think Dark Tower's like the epitome of that. They were like McConaughey's cool as fuck. Idris Elba's on like a real. Everybody loves him. So like we'll whack these two together, give them some waving arms and swords and shit, and it'll be cool. Didn't really work out.
No, yeah, it's like we could see that with Ghost in the Shell and Scarlett Johansson just kind of brought into that because we kind of touched on it a couple of weeks ago with a podcast to do with her being the main character on. Is she supposed to be Japanese originally?
Yeah.
And they just made her like into a white woman who is famous.
It's a star power thing, isn't it? Like think about that new bit. Like that's why I think about The Rock. The Rock is like the epitome of that. It's just anytime they want a film to do well, like they did it with Baywatch, they did it with Fast and Furious to a degree. They just insert him into a franchise, and because he's so hugely popular, it just kind of brings it alive a bit. But I don't think that works. Like I doubt there'll be another Baywatch film, because I think the actual film itself has to be better than the names that are bringing people into the place.
Yeah.
I think that's where the focus has kind of gone missing, because everything's become looking about money with Hollywood. But I think it's kind of they've lost the right people. I think like a lot of good writers I think are now working in TV.
Yeah.
If you watch TV, like they've got so much more leeway for long time to play with their characters and put them in a lot of crazy situations.
Yeah.
So I can see, and it's like job security. So I see why I'd go that way as a writer as well.
It's also much less risk for them as well.
And you got to think how fun would that be? Like you're in a room with a bunch of other really creative people, and you're just chatting about what stuff you want to do with people you've kind of invented, or you've been like characters you've been working with for years, possibly.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be a really cool environment. So I can see why you'd want to do that rather than a film.
Oh yeah.
But I probably shouldn't be slagging off films on a film podcast.
But no, that's the point. I open to kind of talk about it as well.
I think a cowboy would like. Did you see Deadwood? Actually, there's an interesting thing. There was a TV series called Deadwood, which HBO did in like the middle 2000s, which was a cowboy show, purely cowboy,
Right.
set in this like lawless kind of place, and a bunch of different characters from different contexts and stuff, and it did hugely well. It got cancelled in the middle of like its third season because the guy who created it's a bit insane and like has gambling problems and stuff. But it was a really, really good show, and it was a cowboy thing. But just because it got cancelled, it kind of all the steam got killed from it. But they're making a film of it, so that'll be cool to see.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys can see that, and you'll just see like. I think it gives a lot of ability to have interesting characters, cowboys, because people come from such different areas and they just get lumped in with other people in these random like towns.
That's the whole point of the main character, is like the lone ranger himself. He's like the in-between guy between like the frontier, like the open desolate world and civilization itself. So people like to kind of idealize themselves with them because they are the hero. Because there's two different kinds of heroes in those films. I can't remember. I think there's the ideal man, and No, there's two different ones. Like there's the hero kind of guy, and then there's the ideal man, and it's one is kind of like that rugged hero that everyone sort of loves, but then there's like the husband sort of character that everyone is like dependable and sustainable to be with as well, which everyone kind of wants to deal with as well. Like at the moment, in terms of films and stuff, it's the superhero genre. Yeah. That is the Western for now, because everyone's just making superhero films. It's like you say, they're just putting different stars into these roles, which is just another cash cow. So this is just like exactly what was happening 50 years ago, but now we've just got, it just looks different, but it's still the same.
The stories have become secondary, haven't they? It's not about like what's actually happening and what you're taking from the film. It's about like, oh, this person's cool, and oh, did you see when that happened? So I just think like maybe they'll have a comeback, but I'm not sure how, because I think they suit themselves to slower, more kind of smaller stakes as well, because everything now has to be save the planet, save the universe, if you think about films.
Yeah.
Whereas it can't just be like, you don't see huge films where it's like just save one person, or like just a dude roaming.
Yeah, I think that's what was nice about 3:10 to Yuma when we watched that. It's just, because we've not seen a Western in a while as well. It's just a small scale story about one guy delivering another guy to this place. And
it's just about making the people as real as possible.
Yeah, and you just kind of follow these people rather than, oh, everything's crashing and burning. It's like, I'm sick to death of the huge epic things.
Buildings getting destroyed.
Where the whole cities are being destroyed and stuff. I've had enough of that.
Like Batman versus Superman style, where there's just like a 10-minute fight scene that just extravagantly shows CGI to destroy a city.
Yeah.
And it's like, that didn't push anything forward in the story. It doesn't even look cool anymore because we've seen it all. Like if you're going to tell, like Avatar, fine, you revamped the whole thing. You can do that, but now it's all kind of just the same-ish.
I think it's because people don't have an emotional attachment to it anymore. Well, at first, when it was like Independence Day, say 20 years ago now, and it was
patriotic.
Yeah, it was that was the first. It wasn't the first ever time it was properly done, but it's big cities destroyed on a massive scale. People are like, oh damn, it's like that's what's happening in these films now. And then you come to 2012 and like epic movie and all that sort of stuff. San Andreas, that was another one.
Yeah,
and it's just so not real. Even though it looks better, even though it's not real, it doesn't connect with you anymore. Because Independence Day is like patriotic, so obviously you kind of feel like that. But
I was gonna say, just on the subject of San Andreas, did you see in the news what happened to do with that?
What, in Houston there's been a different thing? Or?
No, because of The Rock's character saved someone with CPR from drowning. This boy, must have been about 5 or 6, saved his little brother.
Oh wow.
He was face down in a pool, dragged him out and did the exact same thing that he saw The Rock do, because he watched it over and over and saved his little brother because of it.
That's awesome.
So I think that's still pretty cool. The fact that someone can watch. I suppose that was one of the things before when you said about putting a big name to it. I think if it wasn't The Rock and he wasn't as into him as his favourite actor, then he wouldn't have paid that much attention, but he sort of reenacted it because that's his sort of idol. And
that's really cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I remember seeing something like, well, what percentage do you think effective CPR is in actually like resuscitating somebody? Going off when you've seen it in like films and stuff like that.
Films have 100% success rate.
Yeah. Apparently, it's definitely less than 20. I can't remember the exact number, but I think it might be less than 10% that it actually works.
No
and
way.
they have to try for like 20 minutes. Like it's not just pop, and they're like woohoo.
I know. I've heard stories of my mum doing that because she's a nurse, and she's got to resuscitate people when they go into that state. So she's done it for like half an hour, like even longer, until like the ambulance turns up, because also the emergency services are shit as well, so they're just like, well, which one would you rather us save, this old person or this person whose limb's just been cut off? And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do?
That's the worst part.
So she's there on top of this old person, proper CPR. I think they said that. I don't know. We're going off a bit.
Got so deep.
This got weird. Like
bloody hell. But yeah, I think way back I kind of like the apocalypse films to do the CGI just because of how far it's come. But the main reason I don't really like it is because it terrifies me. Like when 2012 came out and I legit thought we're all going to die in 2012, I was just like,
so
not
dumb.
watching it. I'm going to see I'm going to die.
I
This
hated
isn't
that
happening.
film because I just got so pissed off with like, how many times do you have to make a millimeter's escape? Like how many times does that happen where it's until it's like you'd be dead by now?
Yeah.
Because I swear to Christ, like every 8 minutes on that, like they escape death by an inch, and it's just
That's
like
just
I
life,
want
man.
you to die now. Like stop just escaping.
Yeah.
Either be organised or die.
God, this took a dark turn, huh?
Yeah.
Nah, but basically the Western's not coming back.
Why are apocalypse films always centered around dysfunctional people as well? Like, we don't need them in the post-apocalyptic. Like, let them die. Keep people who are useful. Like, I think I would fully subscribe to the Simpsons thing of, do you know where like they take the people who deserve it up in spaceships when Earth destroys? I think it's Treehouse.
Oh, really?
And, like the Simpsons smuggle themselves on. But I would fully be like, yeah, okay, that's probably deserved. There's too many people on the planet.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind because every film that I've watched is sort of like someone's not told to the person they love them, or you know they've had a crush on them for ages, and at that moment they decide to tell them that they love them, or you know something really stupid.
It's the message that you could die tomorrow, so just live your life, man.
Yeah, I think.
But there's only a certain amount of times you can put that.
See,
in.
I think the reason they're so big now is because people hate like their normal office job type things. Like I don't know. Why is like the post-apocalypse thing become such a release? And people are hoping it happens. Like it's a weird thing
Yeah.
to become big. I think a tiny bit of everybody kind of hopes it would happen and just kind of wants society to explode and just be able to roam around shooting people.
I 100% don't want that to happen.
See,
That would terrify me. No, I would not survive. I would not. Nothing about
we
that
mostly
would.
wouldn't survive, but we'd have like a couple of exciting days. Like I wouldn't survive. I can't start a fire. I can barely feed myself. I'd just walk into the arms of the closest zombie and be like, "Do it, mate. This is over."
oh no, I'd hate that. I'd just have to keep running. No, that's a conversation I've had with myself many times.
Like
About
what
just-
you would do in the what would you do? Where would you go?
Not just necessarily that, just about the whole way that would society be better off if we did have that sort of, breakdown. Anyway.
Yeah, this is.
I know this is like...
way too much. We'll talk about this anyway.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about zombie films and stuff on like.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not just zombie films necessarily, just within that context.
All right, we're trying to wrap up.
No, I'm trying to wrap it up too.
we're all trying to wrap up more, so not blow it. All right,
Well,
go.
I can. All right, if I can finish my point, I'll tie it back to westerns. How about that?
You do what you want to do, mate. We're just here.
We could tie it to the suggestion for next week because I mean.
Well, what is the next? Oh
What
yeah.
is this?
Oh, you're doing it, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know what you're
Oh.
All right,
Just
cool.
when I thought we were about to go on to post-apocalyptic films, but no, basically,
Always make
I
this
kind
up.
of like the idea that society would be better off if we broke down and had to restart, which is kind
It's
of
a
like
natural thing.
yeah, which is kind of like why I like westerns in a sense of it is that just it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic world. Not that it is, but like just after it, so things are starting to kind of
Yeah.
get developed. And
Well,
it's
you
just
have to
that
look out for
primitive-
yourself. It's kind of cool to see someone who's entirely self-reliant because we're also not self-reliant. We need like the internet and like our mums and dads for anything major. So it's cool to see someone who just deals with their own problems. I think that's what people kind of look for in themselves or like try to take as inspirational.
Which takes us to our Lone Ranger, the hero in the Western, which is why it was such a well-developed film and character that people wanted to watch.
And then he got blown.
Yeah, and then
Speaking of getting blown, what are we doing next week?
getting blown.
Next week is going to be a romance film.
Next week it's romance. Thank you, Dill.
I just realised what you're going to make us watch.
Segue.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm on the edge
10
of my
things I
seat.
hate about you.
Yes! Seen it
You
100
say no.
Seen it 100 times. You might have to pick something else, or do you just want to talk about it?
100% don't. I'll talk about it.
Alright,
All
I can talk
podcasts.
about it right now.
I've shown you a scene of it, and you had a big grin on
It's
your
a
face.
genuinely really good
because it
film.
is Heath Ledger
I have always
singing
wanted to
at
say
that
it, to be
point.
fair, so...
And it is a cracking film.
It's a good film.
I will be sat there miming it. I'm sorry. It's amazing. I have a lot to talk about now.
Alright,
and
cool.
Taming of the Shrew. Western.
So you can pretend you're highbrow
Oh,
when you're
Shrew.
watching it.
Oh, God, it's good.
It's a really good film. You'll enjoy it.
I'm looking
I've
forward
watched
to romance
it
as
at
a
least
whole.
5 times. It's just always on.
Yeah, it's amazing. Romance as a whole next week is, I reckon, it'll be a good subject for us all.
Okay.
Cool.
All right then.
Nice.
Did everyone? Okay.
I was just gonna say, do you want to add anything else? Is that right?
Yeah. To be honest, I thought I'd talk more about the westerns that I actually know, but I'm okay wrapping it up.
Why? What westerns do you know?
Django Unchained, like you've shown me.
Ah, we didn't even talk about Django Unchained.
Magnificent
Christoph
Seven,
Waltz.
I really liked that.
Did you? I liked it a lot
I
as
really,
well.
really liked it.
Like what, sorry?
Magnificent Seven.
Ah, still not seen that yet.
Alright.
It's probably not Hateful Eight.
Yeah, yeah.
We watched that. God, you're gonna have to
I
cut
haven't
this.
seen that.
Suck my black
You
gum.
said that for so long after we watched it. You'll have to put this back in. We watched it. We were going through watching a load of.
Quentin
Thank
Tarantino
you.
films.
I'd never seen
I
any.
just realised who Quentin Tarantino is.
I only
don't
watched
admit
Pulp
that.
Fiction, and I weren't a massive fan of it. So we went through and watched them, and I really, really liked.
I haven't seen
those
Hateful
films.
Eight.
You should.
I think it's become the point now where like the commitment to watch a film that long, I just can't be asked to put myself into. But I will actually make an effort to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid, but we'll all happily watch like 4 episodes of an hour-long TV show
Yeah.
rather than watch like one film.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
It is good though.
But no, I'm happy to watch 10 Things I Hate About You and also just talk about it next week and just gush about Heath Ledger.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, Heath.
All the people in it are good as well.
Episode.
Yeah, all of
It's
them.
got a really kind of cool, weird sense of humour.
And the soundtrack. We'll talk about it next
Yeah.
week anyway.
Chiseled.
Alright, yeah, we know.
He was chiseled.
We moved. Yeah,
Don't
don't
use
make
the
me
word
sad.
chiseled.
Come on.
Can't end on you saying chiseled.
Right, so I would say that you can vote on who
Chiseled.
won the draft, but
Matt
I don't think
remembers.
Matt will remember. So this week, Dill
It was
won
pretty conclusive anyway.
the quiz and the draft.
Sorry.
And next week it's romance. So
And
would
Matt
you like
wasted
to
his
say-
time on his degree because apparently I beat you on Western.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Bless.
It's fine, we all wasted our time on our degree.
Yeah.
All I got is a destroyed liver.
Nice thing to end on.
Yeah.
Would you like to say bye?
Chiseled.
Bye.
Oh, my name's Matt Lidster.
Oh, are you going to do the names?
Yeah.
Adele.
Sophie.
Yeah. See
Night.
ya.
See
See you in
ya.
the next one.
Bye.
Sorry.
See ya.
See. Chiseled.
Oh,